Hi guys, I am here with Brian Kelly, aka the Points Guy, aka the person who taught me everything I need to know about credit cards, points, and miles, and today he's going to share his knowledge with you guys. I asked my audience to send me their burning questions, and I'm going to have my expert friend Brian answer them all for you.
Get ready to be a points guy or points girl.
Jump right into it. The first question that I got, we'll start really basic.
Okay, good. We're gonna ease me into this.
We'll ease in. So what is the best card for beginners and why?
So I would say if you've got a decent credit score, nothing really bad on your credit report, I would go with the Chase Sapphire Preferred. That was my gateway card years ago.
That's what I was gonna suggest.
I love the Sapphire Reserve, but it's got a $450 annual fee. I know a lot of people are like, too much too soon. So the Sapphire Preferred actually has a bigger sign-up bonus, and it's only $95 a year. So you get 60,000 Chase points, which we value at over $1,000. So even though it's got a $95 annual fee, when you get sign-up bonuses worth that much money, it makes sense because the cards with no annual fee don't have as high of a sign-up bonus.
So to put it into context for people, 60,000 sign-up points that you get for a sign-up bonus, what type of flight could you redeem that for?
Yeah, so there's two main ways. So when you redeem through Chase, so 60,000 points are worth 1.25 cents a piece, which means you're getting like $750 in value when you book through Chase. However, if you transfer to United, for example, you can get much more than that. So you can get a one-way business class award to Europe, which could easily be $1,500, $2,000 in value because business class flights are really expensive. That 60,000 points is also 2 nights at the Park Hyatt Maldives, for example. That's only actually 25,000 points a night, and that's a $1,000 hotel per night. So, us points experts, like transferring to partners, it takes a little bit of time, but that's where you get tons of value and you can travel like a queen.
Yeah, so the next question, sort of that was a perfect lead-in. What are your thoughts on using your points within the Chase portal or the Amex portal versus transferring them to an airline? This is something that I preach about a lot, and I know you have strong feelings about.
So when you transfer to airlines, you don't earn elite miles. So for people who want to get airline elite status, if you book through Chase or Amex Travel, most of the time those tickets are like paying with cash, you earn miles on them. So what I would say is if it's a really cheap flight and you really are tight on cash, then just redeem it through one of those portals. You're not gonna get the most value for your points, but if it's a really expensive flight, redeeming through those portals is gonna require a ton of money. So it just depends, but I always say too, look, I was points rich and cash poor back in the day. If you're rubbing some pennies together to pay rent, like use your points to save money, even if you're not going to Australia in first class, like saving money and being smart and not getting into debt. I do want to say the credit card game can be amazing, but if you're paying interest on those balances, you're negating the value of those miles and points that you earn. So only play this game if you are good with your finances, and you're not going to get a credit card and then all of a sudden go out shopping and maxing out your credit card because paying 20% interest a year. Done. Don't do it.
Done. Like, how do you decide when it's going to be a great points redemption? Like, what are your rules of thumb that you think is like a good deal versus not a good deal?
Yeah, so we have like monthly points valuations for the major like frequent flyer mile programs. In general, you want to be getting, I would say a good redemption is at least getting 2 cents per point in value. Meaning, if you're going to use 100,000 Chase points, you want to be getting $2,000 in value. As I mentioned, transferring, look at the cost of the hotel or flight and then look at how many miles. A lot of times these days, the airlines really want you to get 1 cent per point. So, if you've got Delta Sky Miles, a ticket to Europe that's 100,000 in economy is roughly, $900 to buy. That means you're getting like 0.9 cents, 0.9 of a cent per point, which isn't that great.
Right.
Really where you get more value is when you redeem, Delta has flash sales. So looking at when airlines discount awards, which we always cover at the Points Guy, but really redeeming for business class, especially on partners. One thing airline websites won't show you is all of the partners that are available. United's pretty good with showing most, but if you have AA miles and you want to go to Asia, actually recently they started showing Japan Airlines and Cathay, but sometimes you have to search for partners that don't show up online, and that's when you can get tons of value. So in general, you want to be getting way more than 1 cent per point, ideally 2 cents or more per point in value, then you know you're a good points maximizer.
Okay, now let's talk about cards. You have a lot of favorites.
Yes.
What would you say if the person already has their beginner card and they're
Yeah.
looking to like take their points strategy to the next level? What cards are you loving?
Well, so I love Amex Platinum. I've had it for years. It's got $550 annual fee, but you get $200 a year in airline credits, which
So then it brings it down to like $350.
$350, and then you get $200 a year in Uber credits. So you're getting you're at $150, and then for $150 you're getting access to Delta Sky Clubs when you fly Delta. You're getting access to Centurion lounges plus 2 guests for free, and all of the drinks and food in Centurion lounges are awesome and free. Plus Priority Pass, plus Global Entry, plus, and 5x points on all airfare. And you know, one of the things I will note, you know, points are great, but also benefits. So Amex has amazing purchase protection. I like expensive clothes. I went to Iceland last year and bought a Montclair jacket, left it because we were filming vlog stuff, and it was a $2,600 jacket. I called up Amex and they instantly took it off of my bill because I made the dumb mistake of losing it. So I think that's something, you know, also with credit cards, some offer flight perks. So the Chase Sapphire Reserve is another one that I think a lot of points people have. That's $450 a year, but you get $300 in travel right away. So once again, you're now at $150 for the Sapphire Reserve. And what I love about this card, it's 3x on travel and dining. So if you're Seamless, Postmates, and travel includes Uber, you know, Manhattan MTA Transit, parking, tolls, it's a really broad category.
3x, he means 3 times the number of points.
Exactly.
3 points per dollar.
And with that card, you get 1.5 cents per point base when redeeming through Chase. So you're earning 3 points that are worth 1.5 cents each. That's 4.5% back. That's a really solid rebate on travel and dining. But what I really like is the travel protections. If anything goes wrong with your flights, it comes with up to $10,000 in travel interruption protection. So for those people who flew WOW Air and the airline went bust,
right.
If you book on a Chase Sapphire product, you had up to $10,000 to get yourself home, and the airline reimburses you. So that's probably one of the top lesser known perks of the Sapphire Reserve that can save you when you're in a pickle.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Learn something every day. So another question I have for you is, this is something that I feel like I've gotten into recently. If you get a card and you get the sign-up bonus, and then you use the sign-up bonus, because I know you don't like to hoard your points, you got to use, if you have them, you should be using them. How do you sort of get back to a place where you feel like you're not points poor?
Yes, so, you know, sign-up bonuses are really rich these days. You're looking at 50,000 points and up, and you know, I think over the next couple of months, we're going to see some interesting new bonuses come into the marketplace. My lips are sealed, but so, you know, the thing, what I would recommend is get a sign-up bonus. You know, you can get a couple different cards a year. So Chase is probably the strictest. Chase will say if they have this 5-24 rule. So if you've had 5 credit cards within the last 2 months of any credit card company, you can't get the Sapphire, the Freedom card. So I would start, get the Chase either Sapphire Preferred or Reserve. Probably go Preferred because you get 60,000 points. But then, you know, get a card or two here and there with a big sign-up bonus. And then also just make sure every dollar you spend, you're putting it on a card that's giving you 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. Once you start looking at everything you're spending and getting more than 1 point per dollar, plus a sign-up bonus here or there, that's why every year people who read the Points Guy and Points Girls like yourself, like you get a couple cards a year. Here's the thing about credit. Some people are probably cringing saying, oh my God, if I get a credit card, it's gonna ruin my score. It's actually false. The more credit cards you have, the more available credit you have, and the less you use, and if you're paying them in full every month, so your score actually goes up. So FICO, actually go to their website. They have a pie chart that tells you exactly what goes into your FICO score. Paying your bills on time is number one, and the more available credit and the less you use, that's your utilization, the bigger that available credit line is and less that you're using, the score goes up. So there is a tiny 2 to 5 point temporary ding whenever you get a new credit card, but that gets outweighed by you paying that bill on time and paying it in full. So I have 25 credit cards, which I know sounds insane, and I would not recommend anyone going out and just getting 25 credit cards, but my score is near perfect because I manage them, I pay them in full every month. And you know, especially I have a small business, if you have a small business or even, an Etsy shop, you should have small business credit card to separate that expense. So for even, for influencers, you have your own small businesses. The small business credit cards are ridiculously lucrative. We at the Points Guy, we spend a lot of money on Facebook ads and Google ads, and I get 3x points for all of that spend on the Chase Ink Preferred and the Amex Business Gold card. Oh. So even if you got a small side business having a good, and the sign up on the Ink is 80,000 points. So look at it, you get your Sapphire Preferred at 60, you get your Ink at 80, you're going to Asia in business class from those 2 signups.
I can taste the
pad thai already.
Oh, the pad thai.
Let's go to Thailand.
I would love to.
Right now.
What airline would you fly?
I would fly Cathay
through Hong Kong.
Cathay through Hong Kong, probably.
Only first, not business.
Only first. Yeah, Cathay Biz is like, okay, but...
Same. But that lounge.
Go first or go home.
And then what do you recommend as far as cash back versus using miles? I know people kind of...
Yeah. So look, if you want a cash back card, the Citi Double Cash is a no-brainer. No annual fee, and you get 2% back when you pay in full. Chase Freedom Unlimited is also really good. It's 1.5 points per dollar. You can also, if you have a Sapphire card, you can take those Chase Freedom Unlimited points and transfer them into your Sapphire account. And then from there, you can transfer to Airline. So the real trick would be to get a Sapphire, either Preferred or Reserve, which gives, double or triple on travel and dining, and then use a Chase Freedom Unlimited card, because that's 1.5 on everything. Okay. So the Sapphire cards only give 1 point per dollar on everything. Right. So you use a Sapphire card to earn on travel and dining, and then you use a Freedom Unlimited on every day, because you're earning 1.5. Ooh. And then you can transfer them to your Sapphire account. So it's not just cash back. You can actually use it for airlines if you want.
And then another credit card I'm very curious about that I have recently been starting to notice you guys talking about a lot is Capital One.
Venture, yeah. Yes. I was actually thinking that. So Freedom Unlimited, if you really love your Chase points, Freedom Unlimited at 1.5. But Capital One Venture actually gives double points on everything. And those points can also be transferred to a number of different airlines. You can also use Capital One points to pay for Uber if you just want to wipe it off. You can even, a lot of times using airline miles, airlines have several $100s in taxes and fees. So if you pay with your Capital One card, you can actually use those points to even wipe off the fees on award tickets. So you're getting, your Uber paid for to the airport. You're using the Capital One Venture points to pay for the fees. I even use my Venture to pay for Blade to go to the Hamptons. Because basically any travel expense you can wipe off your account. You're gonna earn 2x on the purchase, and then you can use points to pay for that charge or transfer to airline. So Capital One Venture is a solid card. And until January of 2020, you also earn 10 points per dollar on all hotels.com. Hotels.com, I'm a Marriott guy and I have Hilton, but hotels.com is pretty much any hotel, most hotels in the world, and they give you 1 free night for every 10. Plus, you're earning 10 points per dollar on the Venture card. Mm-hmm. It's basically 20% back on all of your hotel spend, which is super, super rich.
And then as far as using points for air travel versus hotels, do you have a strong feeling that one's
Amex
better?
Points are the best when you transfer to airlines. Chase points are great when you transfer to airlines and using hotels, booking through Chase Travel. And then Capital One points and hotels.com is probably the best overall for hotels. So, if you have Chase and Capital One Venture, you're covering most of your expenses. That's like a pretty baller strategy.
Okay. And then any other rules of thumb or tips as far as redeeming your points? Like, how do you know, aside from the 1 cent per point.
Yeah, I would just say this, no matter what currency you have, so if you're watching this right now and you've got United Miles or Delta or Amex, at the Points Guy, so we have 100 employees. A lot of people still think it's just me blogging, which I appreciate.
You should see The Office. And
we've got a whole operation. We've got some of the best experts in the world. We've hired really, really smart people to dig into every single program. So if you just want to sit, if you have Amex points, people will always be like, well, how do I use them? Literally just Google the Points Guy, how to maximize Amex.
It's how I figure out every single...
If you've got United Miles, like how to get the most value out of American Airlines, British Airways, we have tutorials. I always tell people, like, curl up, get a humongous iced coffee and sit there. Like, once you get into the points rabbit hole, there's no turning back though, because, and this is why I loved like being the Points Guy and running this site. Like, I've never once, we have millions of, readers a month. I've never once had someone say, oh, well, I educated myself on miles and points and couldn't use them.
Yeah.
Like sometimes people get confused. But
it can be confusing.
But the minute you turn that corner, like at the end of the day, the one thing you should take away from this, miles and points are a currency. It's like money and everyone has them. A lot of people let them go to waste, but like the minute that you educate yourself and mine your knowledge in the points programs that you have, you will come out ahead. Like it's with credit card sign-up bonuses that offer up to, $1,000 in value. Like think about that. That's crazy. Banks want to give you money to travel. We have college students who read the points guide that are going to study abroad flying Singapore Airlines first class for free. Like this is.
I was on Ryanair in the back of the plane. You like Ryanair?
I kind of loved Ryanair. I did, although in college I flew Ryanair to Paris and we landed in Paris Beauvais Airport, which is like 2.5 hours. It was a tent in the middle of the French wilderness. But I was like, oh, it was $10, and then they charge you like $100 to get the bus into actual Paris.
Yeah.
But no matter what, budget travel, first class, like points are amazing, and I love educating people on them because at the end of the day, people who maximize their points and credit cards and they're smart about it, you will travel and live a better life. I mean, I know that's like a...
No, it's true. I've started to live a better life because of Brian, actually.
But once you start turning left on an airplane and like laying down fully flat... I
mean, look at this pillow.
Do I look like I fly economy?
Yeah, it kind of ruins you. Yeah. I will say that.
So don't play this game if you want to travel in comfort and like a boss. Actually, United even has rosé in first class now.
Oh, that's right. I think I have.
They must have sent you the press release.
Yeah, no, I have. They sent me a thing in mailer too, and Sunday release.
Your dress is making me want to have rosé right now.
We should. What time is it? Okay, so if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or inspired or whatever, we'll put all the links to everything we talked about with some tips, my favorite credit cards, Brian's favorite cards, all below, and send us selfies when you guys are in business or first class.
Drinking champagne. Yeah. Safe travels.